This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Card Back B.A.T.s, Battle Android Troopers from Cobra the Enemy. And this is something like our 5th or 6th installment of the B.A.T.s in the G.I. Joe Classified Series. We had the originals, we had the Ice ones, we had the Crimson Guard ones, we had the Python Patrol, and then we had Destro's. And right now, Destro's set is winning the race as to which one was the best one. But this one being made to look a little bit more like the original toys and coming with extra accessories and some additional paint apps might put it over the top in this case. On the back, we see a file card in multiple languages, as well as the only other item in this wave was apparently the generic G.I. Joe Trooper, which honestly, it would have been good if they'd given us a generic G.I. Joe Trooper, both male and female, instead of, just the single one. Battle Android Troopers, B.A.T.s, are the perfect soldiers. They never question orders, complain about the chow, shirk duty, or surrender. They require no leave time, sick pay, or benefits of any kind, and they are cheap and easy to replace. Oh, I doubt they're cheap. On the other hand, B.A.T.s do not discriminate between targets. They will shoot at anything that moves, be it friend, foe, or animal. They also have an unfortunate tendency to burst into flame when hit from behind. I don't think I ever did a Battle Android Trooper classified card previously, so I don't know how much of that is accurate from the original one, but that idea that they burst into flames from hit behind is kind of awful. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? I kind of forgot they came with their own stands. All right, so let's start out by taking a quick look at the accessories. We have the battle damaged head, which looks cool. I like the red in it and the little eye sticking out. We have his backpack. We have all of his different accessories. And what makes this one cool is we have accessories that don't fit in there. There we go. We got a flame for the flamethrower. And we have a laser beam for the laser thingy, which I guess is what they've decided this is, because it was very confusing to me. Although the accessories are aimed kind of funny. They just kind of got warped in the package, I guess. But that's nice. And if you want to look at these a little bit closer, you'll notice there's actually some burn scorching on the end of that. And you can kind of see how this laser thing is supposed to be like, I don't know if it's supposed to be just getting hotter, but because it's, the blue laser, it's coming out blue. But yeah, it's still supposed to represent the stuff coming out. We do have the clawed hand, silver. Ooh. And yeah, these things are painted silver, metallic silver, over just gray plastic. The same gray used in this plain, ordinary handgun that is kind of boring, but I believe came with all the other B.A.T.s. So let's see how well the accessories hook back into the backpack. Yeah, I know, I ain't taking the effects off either. All right, so there we go. We got the backpack with all the accessories, including the effects going on. We are given 2 chest plates. They came with the other B.A.T.s, most of them, damaged and non-damaged, but they are clear. So it does go on there like so. Oh, wow, that's all the accessories, isn't it? His gun can either go into a hand, like that, or you can stick it in the holster. Let's go ahead and go over his articulation real quick. Head is on a ball joint. As is the neck. So we do get that chicken neck thing going on there again. Hand goes up, hand goes down, butterfly joint, spin at the bicep, double joint at the elbow. And here is where you can kind of see where some of that paint gets pulled off while it's being moved around. Because that's the thing. I'm pretty sure this is all molded in the same original gray plastic that the original B.A.T.s parts had come in. They're just painted silver, which makes them look really cool, but still paint. We do have a ab crunch. Bicep crunch. I guess that'd be for breaking eggs. He does have the waist swivel, and it spins around to kind of duplicate what the old O-rings used to do. Sort of like the legs here, which have the drop-down hip. And, of course, we can kick forward. And we can not really kick back a whole lot. But we can go ahead and sort of kick outward. The holster here is causing a problem, of course, with that side. At least I think the holster is the problem. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the holster is the problem. Because the other side's going just fine. Oh, God, the belt. Which, by the way, I think the belt is molded in the brown and then painted yellow in this case. Surprisingly well done, too, considering that they painted the inside as well. Let's see if we can get that down at belt level there so that it doesn't quite interfere with the movement of the waist. We do still have a bicep cut. Jesus. A thigh cut. Thigh cut. There we go. Yeah, it's a thigh cut. We have a double joint knee. God, I hate this thing. Pretty good kick back. Spin at the ankle. Or the boot cut. Man, my English is getting bad today. Hinge. Back and forth. And we have a pivot point here so we can spin it all around. And we'll do the hokey pokey. And of course, as mentioned before, we do have the battle damaged pad and chest plate that we can put in place. Like so. Not that the battle damaged plate really makes much of a difference when it's clear plastic. However, I'm going to put the regular head back on here. That is a small peg, by the way, or a ball joint. I'm just going to take that off and leave it off for the moment. We can pull both of his hands out. Throw the different items there on top of it. So we can have this claw hand, so he can grab the necks of the Joes and slice into them. And then he can burn them with his flamethrower arm. Which I'm kind of wondering where the fuel for this thing is, because that's probably not going to last too long, especially if it's trying to spray out. And then we have the little laser thingy. Haha. So you can burn your nose off. You know what, though? I have actually always appreciated all that detail in that hand, though. That is a nice hand sculpt and forearm there with all of the mechanical details there. They put a lot of love into this, probably because they knew they were going to use it a massive amount of times. You know, I suppose this is one of those cases where they're like, yeah, we've got this plans for all these repaints. Boss, do you mind if we add a ton more details and everything? Yeah, I guess if we're going to use it multiple times, we can get away with that. So now, let's go ahead and make a comparison here to the original release. I'm not going to pull out all the different ones, just this one. So, you know, we went with orange instead of yellow. Everything's more muted on this one, except for, it looks like they're using the same black plastic for the majority of the body. We have some metallic silver highlighting on here. It would have been kind of nice, actually, if they'd added that to here. But they pretty much hit all the same spot with the paint apps. We do have a different amount of apps on the chest here for the electronics inside. But other than that, said almost everything's pretty much the same. You know, this is what I meant though. Pretty sure. Okay. It's probably not the same. Oh, that's easy enough to check actually. Yeah, okay. So it's really close to the same gray. Like it may have been meant to be the same gray that they use and they just had a lighter batch of it. But yeah, you can see that the difference between the silver paint and the regular arms here. So yeah, when you get right down to it, there are a ton of different bats in this one, and I totally forgot about the winter one when I was listing them off. But here you go. These are all the different bats on this turntable, so you can see the difference between all of them. And I still gotta say, I do think that the Iron Grenadier bat probably looks the best, followed by the new retro card back version. If for no other reason than it comes with the extra items, and I like the silver paint apps done for it. It's a pretty cool looking figure. It is kind of a shame though that they didn't give us the chainsaw or the monster head version to go with it. That would have been pretty badass too, you know? Because I don't think any of these bats came with all 3 heads. But yeah, this would be a great addition to your Battle Android Trooper collection. I don't know what kind of reason you can come up with for the 2 separate paint jobs for standard bats, but you know, maybe one could be considered the prototype bat and the other one is the mainline bat. I mean, there's the good old fashioned just kind of saying that they're one is the quote bat commander or whatever, but that's kind of lame. And there is actually a bat commander in one of the later GI Joe series, I think, where it's a guy who's half bat, half human, not to be mistaken with the man bat from the Batman series. But I would definitely say that this bat is well worth the purchase price. If you don't have him, you should go ahead and pick him up. I'm not sure how extensively released he is, but being that there's only 2 figures in the wave, I think there's probably a decent amount out there available to purchase. But why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments below. And do you have any other suggestions as to what maybe they should have done with the bats when they released it on the retro card as well? If you enjoyed this look at the retro card bat, please feel free to like the smash button. And if you want to see more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. That would be wonderful. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.